Hey guys, in today's video we're going to talk about how to ace a phone interview with Amazon, actually with any recruiter. Remember, Amazon is one of the most challenging companies to recruit with. Jeff Bezos has disclosed to Fast Company that would rather interview 50 people and not hire anyone than to hire the wrong person. So I guess that says a lot. What I mean with this is that if you apply these tips to your phone interview with Amazon, you're most than guaranteed to make it to the next stage, not only with Amazon, but with any company actually. So in today's video, we'll talk about how to prepare for a phone interview, how long are phone interviews usually for, what are the most common questions on a phone interview, and also what questions to ask at the end to the recruiter. Are you ready? Let's dive into it. How to prepare for a phone interview. Before you walk to that interview or before you answer that phone, make sure you prepare. Let's give a sneak peek to the email Amazon has sent me before our interview. They give me so many hints and tips, extremely valuable for my preparation. And it clearly told me that Amazon doesn't want to spend any time with the wrong candidate. Straight away, they answer to the question, how long are phone interviews? 30 minutes. 30 minutes is actually the standard for most of the phone interviews. Then they tell me this will be an opportunity for you to know more about the role and for us to know more about your experience and skills. What are they saying here is read and reread that job description because we're going to ask you questions in how much of a good fit you're for this role and if you're skillful for this job position. Then they also tell me there's going to be a number of competency-based questions around our leadership principles. 2 questions straight away. What are competency-based questions and what are Amazon leadership principles? Competency-based questions require real-life situations as an answer. Don't worry, we'll go through examples and the method that will allow you to score in every answer you give. What are the Amazon leadership principles? I've written them down in the description box below as there are 14 of them. In any other company, these are referred to as the company values. In Amazon, everyone lives and breathes the Amazon leadership principles. And trust me, while I work at Amazon, the leadership principles were written at the lobby, at the cafeteria, in the bathroom, at the office, everywhere. This recruiter, she also tells me, give a look into our website and find out what it's like to work at our company. I did not only do that, but I did reach out to Amazonians and future peers that were working at Amazon at a time, and I told them, hey, I'm currently recruiting with Amazon and I would love to know what it's like to work at a company like yours. And I encourage you to do the same. Also, in terms of preparations, I would also advise you to create a list of questions to ask at the end to the recruiter. Don't worry, I'll walk you through a couple of examples. And also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so that you don't miss my separate video on what questions to ask a recruiter at the end of the interview. So let's go now to the most common interview questions. So a question that is always a high runner in job interviews is, tell me about yourself. And in this question, what the recruiters want to know is to hear from you who you are, what are your traits, what are your values? Do you live by similar values to the Amazon leadership principles? And of course, they want to know about your working experience and how much qualified and skillful you are for the role you're going to enroll at. And don't forget to connect your past experience with this role you're applying for and really give them the looks and the feels of what it would be like if you were already in that role. Actually, the recruiter has sent me an attachment to this email, which is called Amazon Recruitment Guidelines. Remember, they want to do nothing but spending their time with the right candidate. And they tell me up front that they love the STAR method. What is that? The STAR method is a structured manner of responding to a behavioral interview question by discussing the specific situation, task, action, and result of the situation you're describing. So when the recruiter tells you, "Tell me about a time when," this is a hint that is your time to apply the STAR method and let them know how have you used one of the Amazon principles in the past. So examples of competency-based questions can be questions like, "Tell me about a time when you received negative feedback. How did you deal with it? Tell me about a time when you had to complete a project and you had no data or information available. Tell me about a time when you exceeded your expectations. Tell me about a time when you had to deal with a difficult coworker or stakeholder," and many more. Feel free to go into the description box and find more examples. So now I'm going to give you an example of how I would have answered to one of these questions. Let's say it was, "Tell me about a time when you had to make a decision but you had no data or information available." So giving you one example, I was challenged by my company to drive a market analysis on a very small country and see if there was a market opportunity over there. So what happened is that this is a really small country we're talking about, and in terms of data, there was no data available as we had an issue with the system and we were not able to get information from Amazon in what regard to this country sales. So I had to work with other data. In terms of tasks, I of course reached out to Amazon and I said, "Hey guys, we don't get data for this country since week 15 of 2020. Can you please fix this and let us know when the data is available?" But on the other hand, I took actions like reaching out to my colleagues from the local markets and know from them what are the products that are working in this market. What does our market share look like? What are the percentages of our market share? What are our key competitors? What is the consumer behavior in this market? Are they price sensitive? Are they aware of our brands? And things like that. They're way more qualitative than having the sales information. But this type of information has actually allowed me to draw a plan, a strategic plan of where to go after or what to go after when we have the chance of growing this market. So one of the things I mentioned during the preparation phase is prepare questions. There is going to be time for questions and make sure you use that time. One of the Amazon leadership principles is learning and being curious. So make sure you bring those leadership principles out. Go ahead and ask them questions. Things like, what is your favorite leadership principle? What is the leadership principle you live and breathe every day? How is it like to work at Amazon? What has been the most challenging situation you have faced in your role while working at Amazon? What has been your most rewarding moment while working at Amazon? And so many others. So make sure you don't miss my video in what questions to ask the recruiter at the end of the interview. Guys, smash that thumbs up button if you got value out of today's video and comment down below what was your ha-ha moment from today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button for more content like this on a weekly basis. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on my next one.